So TLDR, the backlight in my 7-year-old TV was dying. It was slowly turning more and more blue over time until it looked like this. Yeah, Tatooine was looking a bit more like Camino, and Dune was looking a lot more like Avatar 2, The Way of Water. So I decided it was time for a bit of a home theater / living room setup upgrade. Like anyone, if I'm bothering to upgrade both my TV and soundbar, I want to have the latest features for both video and audio, like Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos, but also wanted to unlock the prospects of 120Hz gaming on my Xbox Series S. Just having 120Hz would also future-proof myself in case I end up with any other consoles or devices that support that high refresh rate in the near future. If money were no object, I might have just brought home an LG C2 and called it a day, but Vizio's latest offerings were looking quite good for the price. We're talking Dolby Vision and 120Hz gaming with a Dolby Atmos surround soundbar for less than $1,000. This setup offers what I think is the most bang for the buck budget home theater experience / living room gaming setup on the market right now on paper. But does it translate to real life? Well, let's start with the Vizio M Elevate soundbar. The Vizio M Elevate advertises a true Dolby Atmos experience thanks to its motorized pop-out height channels that pop out on the side of the soundbar. Yeah, pretty neat. Right off the bat, the sound is impressive to say the least. Dialogue is much clearer than my previous 2.1 channel Sony soundbar, and having rear speakers is always going to be better than any soundbar that just emulates them. But what really elevates the M Elevate over other soundbars is that you're also getting those built-in height channels that pop out of the soundbar when Dolby Atmos content is detected. Just like with having physical rear channels, physical height channels will always be better than emulating them like we are here. But mounting speakers on your ceiling is a much bigger undertaking than mounting rear speakers, which is why sound system OEMs have been working hard to include height channels in a clever package such as this one. So, does it sound like the Atmos media is coming from directly over top of you? Not quite, simply because it's not. But since I'm not drilling holes in the ceiling of my apartment to mount Dolby Atmos speakers anytime soon, this M Elevate system is a convenient stopgap between going without Dolby Atmos height channels entirely and fully dedicating your home to a permanent theater setup. It's also important to consider that if you ever want to rearrange your furniture, you can't just as easily change the configuration of the speakers that you just drilled into your ceiling. So, in my opinion, the pop-out height channels on the M Elevate are a clever compromise between going without height channels and going with a much more expensive and much more permanent system. So, it sounds great, it's convenient to set up, and it's got a neat party trick up its sleeve for when company's over on movie night. I got mine on sale from Best Buy for $499 US. Coincidentally, also on sale for $499 US was the Vizio MQX. It looks phenomenal in this 50-inch size, which is a much better size for this wall in my apartment than the previous 70-inch was anyways. The pixel density at my viewing distance is better with this size as well. Immediately after getting the TV up on the wall, I skimmed through some recent Dolby Vision titles, and I have to admit, it did not feel like I had watched the same movies before. The neon hues just pop right off the screen. Of course, my camera recording this won't do it justice, so you might just have to take my word for it. Dolby Vision looks amazing on games too. Rocket League has never looked this vibrant, Tetris Effect Connected is eye-searing in the best way possible, and Call of Duty's colors are much more vibrant in the menus and much more realistic in the gameplay. It finally looks like a sun-drenched desert instead of a washed-out sandpit. But Dolby Vision isn't the only trick the MQX has available when gaming, because you can also bump the refresh rate up to 120Hz on any of the 4 HDMI ports since they're all rated to HDMI 2.1. That's super convenient since many TVs still have only 1 or 2 available HDMI ports marked as 2.1, but with the Vizio MQX, you can rest assured that any HDMI port you plug into is 2.1. So of course, I turned on performance mode on my Xbox Series S to take full advantage of 120Hz gaming in any game that supports it. It also supports AMD FreeSync Premium for variable refresh rate. And if you want to step it up another notch and get real crazy, you can plug in a gaming PC for a 240Hz mode. My small factor gaming PC is small enough to carry out to the living room, so I tested this out and it is truly nuts. It's hard to describe the difference in gaming on 60Hz versus 240Hz, but I've recorded it here in super slow-mo so that you can see just how many more frames are in between what you would normally see on a 60Hz panel and what you can see on 240Hz. So, do I feel like I've gotten enough value out of this TV to justify $499 US? Absolutely, and when you combine this package together of the Vizio MQX and the M Elevate at just $998 US, you start to see that this is a lot of bang for the buck. A lot of Dolby Vision TVs alone are well above $1,000, and the same goes for a lot of Dolby Atmos home theater systems. On the flip side of that, I haven't found any TVs cheaper than this one with these features, and I haven't found any soundbars less expensive than this one that feature height channels like this. So at the end of the day, I was able to achieve a complete home theater upgrade including Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, and 120Hz console gaming, all for under $1,000, which I think is pretty kick-ass. There's not much more I could want for right now, save for possibly an OLED panel or height channels in the ceiling if I was a real home theater buff. But either one of those would cost more than the entire bundle that I just bought. So I think I'll just save that money. Thanks very much. And thanks very much to all of you watching. Please like this video if it helped you make a decision on your next home theater upgrade. And of course, let me know in the comments what your favorite Dolby Vision or Dolby Atmos content is to test or show off when people are over. Thanks for watching. Peace.